When Russia began its special military operation in Ukraine, one of its top strategic goals was the Donetsk region. Russian forces quickly surged in, seizing a vast portion of the territory. Despite Ukraine's counter-offensives, Russia has maintained control. Then, Ukraine did something Moscow never anticipated, turning its drones against its own occupied territory in a daring attack. The power in Donetsk was cut. This was a strategic message. Ukraine would bring the energy war to them. According to Euromaidan Press, the first signs of an attack appeared at dawn on November 18th, causing widespread blackouts. Sources revealed a coordinated UAV attack targeting two key thermal power plants Russia had occupied, Starobishevska and Zhuivska. While information on Starobishevska is limited, we have footage of the aftermath at Zhuivska, showing massive flames. Another video captured the distinct sound of UAV engines and Russian air defense systems attempting an unsuccessful interception. Reports from Zhuivska revealed Ukraine scored a direct hit on the transformer for the plant's No. 2 boiler. The destruction of such a critical component was no accident. It showed sophisticated intelligence and targeting. The Starobishevska plant was even larger, used by Russia as a hub to stabilize their entire energy system in Donetsk. The word, occupied, is critical. While it seems Ukraine destroyed its own assets, these facilities were fueling Russia's war machine. It was a painful tactical sacrifice, but a logical military move. Facilities can be rebuilt once territory is reclaimed. Ukraine has not officially claimed responsibility, so information comes from ground reports which track the spreading power outages. The blackouts began 30 minutes after Ukrainian UAVs were spotted, spreading to Makiivka and Ilovaisk after the strikes. More details came from the Russian occupation force itself. Denis Bushilin, the Kremlin-installed leader, took to Telegram. He stated, an unprecedented attack on the Republic's power grid damaged the Zhuivska and Starobishevska thermal power plants. In a second post, he admitted the severity of the damage. At the moment, 65% of consumers are without electricity. This was a bitter admission of failure for Russia's air defenses, which were supposed to protect its strategic assets. Another Russian source, DNR News, reported that both plants shut down completely, affecting over 376,000 customers. So why did they do it? This was a proportional response. Ukraine is giving Russia a taste of its own bitter medicine. Since early autumn, Russia has shifted its air campaign to target Ukraine's energy infrastructure, aiming to paralyze the country. Putin's goal is simple: destroy as much power and heating infrastructure as possible to make the winter dark and cold. In one recent attack, Russia launched one of its largest ever air assaults, leaving parts of Kyiv in total darkness. Ukraine shot down 406 of 458 Shahd-type UAVs, but only 9 of the 45 cruise and ballistic missiles. Ukraine's energy minister called it one of the largest direct ballistic missile attacks on energy facilities since the war began. The Kyiv Independent reports Russia has created a devastating doom loop in Ukraine's energy system: destroy, fix, repeat. The intent is to cut power for as long as possible while also draining Ukraine's precious financial resources. Renat Akhmetov, owner of a major energy provider, said, "The problem is time and money. Maybe another country will give us its old equipment." This reveals another problem. Much of Ukraine's infrastructure is Soviet-era, requiring Soviet parts that are increasingly scarce. This brings us back to the November 18th attacks. Ukraine decided Russia desperately needed a dose of its own medicine. In fact, Ukraine's long-range drones have caused power outages in Russia to increase by a third in 2025. Russia blames weather or maintenance, but 41% of outages are due to infrastructure damage, and 16% are unknown. The dual attacks in Donetsk are not just to plunge Russians into darkness. An occupied Donetsk without power is weakened. As winter approaches, the loss of power and heat will severely degrade the morale and combat capability of Russian soldiers. Putin's strategic goal is to control all of Donetsk, giving him leverage in any future peace negotiations. Ukraine cannot allow that to happen. Their strikes on their own occupied infrastructure are part of that prevention strategy. President Zelensky warned that if Russia causes blackouts for Ukraine, we will do the same. There are no secrets here. The enemy must feel the price of this war, but we do not kill civilians. Our troops only launch pinpoint strikes. It's likely the areas of Donetsk just plunged into darkness were also being used to launch attacks against Ukraine. One thing is certain: Ukraine has shown Putin it is willing to hurt itself if it means inflicting greater pain on the occupier.